This is my summer wave pool. We put an overlap liner in it this year, my husband and I, because last year I bought it used before the pool season started, and when I went to set it up, I found hole after hole after hole. I was almost ready to just throw the pool away, but you couldn't get pools anywhere because of COVID. So I was like, I'm not doing that. So what we did was we just patched and patched, and I ended up having about 12 holes in this thing, one of which is right here on the side, and I patched the inside and outside. But what I found was, I think the chlorine makes the patches come off, so I got tired of dealing with that. So rather than keep dealing with that, this year I decided to not, so I didn't have to spend all my time patching it, put in an overlap. I bought one for 50 bucks online, and I bought these clips here. They're for 1.5. They're 1.5. They're PVC clips. They're designed to be used for different things. I bought them. I think I bought 2 10-packs for about $30 on Amazon, because I just didn't want problems. And this is just a 25 gauge liner, and so far, as you can see, it's holding the water. I also upgraded my skimmer, because the skimmer that came with this pool just screwed in by hand, and I thought that's not going to work with an overlap liner. So I put in a Hayward brand skimmer, and as you can see, it's doing the job quite nicely. We screwed it into the liner. There is a little tiny bit of a leak right here. It's just dripping just a little tiny bit, but it's not enough to worry me. I put one shut-off valve here. I'm going to eventually put a different shut-off valve over here so I can shut the water off when I need to empty the basket on my pump. This Hayward sand filter and pump came with the pool, and it was well worth the investment. I changed the sand out this year. It's running my pool beautifully. Within about 2 hours of running it, I had water that looked like this from the green cloudy well water that it filled up with. So it's well worth it. Underneath the pool, to protect the bottom of the liner, I have heavy duty rubber mats, which I bought from Home Depot. I can't remember the size right off the top of my head, but there's 4 of those under there to cover the space. There's a heavy duty tarp and a foam pool pad under there that was well worth the investment to protect the bottom of this, because since I put this in, I'm not going to take it down this winter. I'm just going to cover it and protect it that way with the winter cover, and hopefully it will make it through one more season next year, because I was not about to spend between $500 to $1,500 for a pool that before COVID cost $221 brand new at Menards. I just wasn't going to spend that much money. So if you're going to spend money on a pool and you don't want to put a ton of money into it, I highly recommend an overlap liner. It can be done with these pools. I will tell you, there was a few choice words involved when we were retrofitting the skimmer and the return line, because we cut the return line here to fit an 1.5 inch hose fitting, and it's worked well. Definitely well worth the money. For about $150, I saved my pool for another season of use rather than having to spend a fortune on a new one. And my daughter, who is going to turn 8 this summer, is very happy because she has something to swim in that works for her, and she and her friends can enjoy the pool in. Also, I can when it gets hot. It's enough to get in and cool off with, and that's all I really cared about. So it's well worth it. So if you're considering doing this, I highly recommend it. I did cut the opening for the drain plug out so that if for some odd reason water got in between the 2 liners, that it could drain out and not cause a problem. But I don't think that's going to happen. I'm just not worrying about draining it that way. I'll drain it the other way when I drain it down for the winter. For heating this, I found an easy way to warm the water. Just put a submersible pump in there, put a hose coiled up in the sun, run one end out, and back into the pool, and let it run through the hose, and it heats the water that way. It works quite well. So if you want a easy fix and you can't afford a lot of money, this is a good idea.